Morning, darling. So, looks like it's about 4:45 in the morning. You know, of course, darlings, normally I do these in the evenings, but I just awoke from the most dreadful dream. And, well, I needed to tell someone, so I figured I might as well tell you, darling. So, let me just go right into it. Before it fades, these things often do, you know. So, of course, this wedding has been very stressful, darlings, and it's about that. So I sort of, in this dream, you know, it's elven tradition, of course, before the wedding ceremony, you have to have a series of sort of introduction festivities, and so before the first one was to start, I was trying to get Legolas there because there's many different things that have to happen. I won't go into them. And of course, no one could find him, so we sent the servants round to locate him and his husband, and they were nowhere to be found, darling. And so, of course, we start to send people out to find them, and they're nowhere to be found. We send the dwarves send out ravens, and of course, we're sending out messages of our own, and they're just nowhere, darling, nowhere at all. Of course, there's already everyone is on their way, and so it was decided by some council. I don't even know. We don't have a council here in the Greenwood, but it was decided by a council that the wedding would still have to proceed for some reason. You know how dreams work, not quite all logic there, and so it had to be someone, of course, from our line of descent and one from the Durin line, and so since I am the only remaining one of our line, I was chosen to get married in Legolas's place, and it had to be someone of the Durin line, and so they were going to bring all the dwarf lords and to choose, except none of them showed up except for that dreadful Thorn Oakenshield, of course, darlings. Who else would show up, you know? And so I was forced to marry him, you know. Darlings, it was absolutely awful. And then, because of course matters can't just end that terribly, they have to get worse in these dreams, you know. It was also decided by this council, whoever they are, that we would have to prove that we could consummate the marriage. So we had to have representatives from both sides watch this dreadful affair, and of course it was sort of a couple of my god. We had to have neutrals, so we had, of course, the King of Dale and a couple of his representatives, and some of the line of Durin watching this awful thing. It was absolutely dreadful, darling. And then right at the end, Legolas just shows back up with Glowing Sun, and it turned out that they had just gone off for some sort of dwarven ritual that the dwarves had completely forgot about, and that they just the birds had been delayed, and then they got delayed coming back on the road, and so it was all for nothing, darling. Except then I was stuck, of course, because the marriage was consummated, being married to Thorn Oakenshield, and it was going to be permanent, and he was going to move here, or I was going to move there, some dreadful sort of living together sort of arrangement. It couldn't be separate, and darling, it was just dreadful, you know. And oh, I need my wine. Here we go. Darling, there's not even any wine in this glass, and someone seems to have taken my bottle away. Both of them. I mean, I know the one was empty, but darlings, I suppose I'm going to have to go back to sleep because I just can't deal with being awake and sober and this nightmare all at the same time. It's just too much for me, darling, you know. I think this wedding has really just been taking it out of me. But thank you for listening to me just sort of ramble on about this, darlings. So I look forward to talking with you this evening, and yes, I'm falling back asleep, so I'm just going to go, darlings. Ta-ta.